What's up guys, Artem MMA Analysis here, going to be talking about who do I think that Khamzat Chimaev will fight next, because it seems to be a pretty hot topic right now. Some people are saying title shot. I think they're a little bit dumb. Like, Brawler Bible said that he thinks that Khamzat Chimaev should get a title shot, and his fans flamed him in the comments like they do for probably every second post, because Brawler Bible is just a 12-year-old with absolutely no idea what they're talking about. But yeah, Khamzat Chimaev missed weight by 7 pounds. He's not getting a title shot. You cannot miss weight by 7 pounds and then expect a title shot from that. It's like if Beneil Dariush weighed in at 162 pounds to fight Mateusz Gamrot and then was like, give me a title shot. That's not happening. Beneil Dariush ain't getting a title shot for weighing at 162 pounds. Even if Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler both decide, you know what, we're fighting at 160 pounds. I just don't think you can title shot 155 from that. So I'm going to give you a couple of options for Khamzat Chimaev moving forward. Colby Covington at 170 pounds, I believe, is the welterweight matchup that makes the most sense. I'm going to be exploring 185 as well with you guys, but I think that Chaos Colby Covington at 170 pounds makes a lot of sense. I think these guys could co-main event a pay-per-view very easily. It would sell a lot. Maybe even main event like an ABC fight night earlier next year or something like that. Just something major, or like the biggest fight night ever with the big arena and this and that, or even just maybe main event of a pay-per-view. I don't know if that would do too well, but I'm saying, like, this is a big fight. Biggest fight you can probably make at 170 right now. I don't think Colby Covington gets a title shot off a win over Jorge Masvidal right now. I think he has to beat one more person, and looking at the rankings, do you do Colby Covington versus Gilbert Burns? Potentially. Colby Covington versus the winner of Bilal Muhammad versus Sean Brady. That's probably what he's waiting for, because I do think Colby beats them both. But Khamzat Chimaev right now is waiting in the wings. I think if he fights at 170 pounds, I think he probably could beat Colby Covington and get a title shot off that if he weighs in at 170. But let's also talk about his chances at 185, because he wants to fight at 185 as well. And there is one man that he's beefing with it right now at 185, and he is number 6 ranked Paulo Costa. Rankings wise, it kind of makes sense. The number 3 welterweight fights the number 6 middleweight. That could happen. And now that Khamzat Chimaev is playing the heel, and everyone's kind of hating on Chimaev, people are going to be booing Chimaev. My laptop decides to crash in the middle of the video, as it loves to do. But I'm saying, like, you put Paulo Costa versus Khamzat Chimaev on the main card of the pay-per-view. I mean, on the main card of the Brazil pay-per-view even, I think that makes a lot of sense. A lot of people will boo Khamzat Chimaev because he's trying to play the heel. He's trying to be the hated guy right now. My computer, for some reason, actually still hasn't decided to work, which is a marvel. So let's just move on. I've got a couple more people to pick. It's not an Artem MMA Analysis video without my computer completely crashing. But we move on. Let's find something else. I'm looking at the middleweight division, and I am looking at a fight which I think a lot of people may think makes no sense. I'm looking at Robert Whittaker. I'm looking at the number 1 guy right now. I know Jared Cannonier doesn't have a matchup, so maybe Whittaker versus Cannonier, the rematch, could be a viable option. Maybe Cannonier versus Vittori or something. And that kind of brings me to another one as well. I think you could do Khamzat Chimaev versus any of the top 3 right now. None of them has matched up. Jared Cannonier was meant to fight someone else. I think it was Sean Strickland, and it got cancelled because Strickland's pulled out. Maybe you could see Khamzat Chimaev step in on short notice for the same date that fight was scheduled for. Maybe you could see Khamzat Chimaev fight Robert Whittaker for the number 1 contender spot at middleweight. Maybe you could see Khamzat Chimaev fight Marvin Vittori in Italy, because they're talking about putting on a card in Italy. They don't have many Italian fighters whatsoever. But if he fights Marvin Vittori in Italy, he'll get booed. He'll play the heel. People won't like him there. You know what I mean? He's fighting the hometown guy. If he fights Paulo Costa in Brazil, he's going to get booed by the Brazilian crowd. They're not going to like him, this and that. He's going to be playing the heel. He can maybe say a couple of things about Brazil, like Covington has in the past, and maybe really play into the heel. You know what I mean? He's beaten Gilbert Burns, who's Brazilian. Maybe you could say something about that. Like, if Khamzat Chimaev goes full heel, which I think he is doing right now, and people are hating him, then now people probably want to see him lose, especially now that he's undefeated. I think maybe Khamzat Chimaev versus Paulo Costa at 185 in Brazil is the fight to make it to UFC 283. It's about 3 months away, 3.5 months away, and I think that does make a lot of sense considering the timing. And I think that Khamzat Chimaev versus Costa would be a great fight. I don't think it would last that long. I do think Chimaev would wrestle with Costa. I mean, if Costa's getting taken down by Luke Rockhold. Gassing out. I know it was in Salt Lake City, so I will give him the benefit of the doubt, but still, you know what I mean. I think it'll be a great build-up. I think Costa and Chimaev will talk, this and that. I think even Chimaev versus Vettori would be a funny press conference, especially if they do it in Italy. That's kind of my picks. It's kind of my talk. But Brawler Bible, I'm calling you out, mate. You are so dumb. Like, if you read Brawler Bible's comments, oh my god, everyone just disagrees with his takes because they're so terrible. But anyway, yeah. Let's move on, eh? Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed that video.